Alright, it's Matt along with Goo, and today we're going to talk about the new talent blossoms that were released a couple of days ago, and I believe it was premature, uh, and try and just talk to you which are good and which aren't. So stay. Alright, we're just going to go through S and down the line real quick and kind of give you positive to negative feedback. The first one's the Dragon Lord True Form. The main buff or skill is going to be Draconic Flame, major, and I mean major first breath damage to one enemy. Also gives two other skills, Dragon Lord's Pulse and Dragon Scale. Dragon Lord's Pulse gives you every 3 turns, raises move for 3 turns, and boosts breath potency effect for 4 turns, which after basically turn 4, turn 7, etc., you will gain actually a slight increase overall in breath damage and does make Dragon Lord True Form really, really powerful. The other two increases here are HP, which total 150, and you've got the rest here. For Rainbow Material, I believe Dragon Lord and Metal Dragon are better, and in all honesty, we're going to be coming with Elena with the next one, and I think that's going to be actually more important than the Dragon Lord True Form. But if you're a heavy user of Dragon Lord True Form, I don't have any issues with you guys upgrading. I would consider it probably the fourth best one out of all of the S units overall. Next one is one of the worst, King She Slime. Honestly, it's actually a huge improvement. Gives you the ability to lock physical move when using a martial attack, counter with headbutt charge if within range, which is a pretty decent range, and a large increase in agility. The new skill Searing Press does major type martial damage to all enemies, can move up 3 spaces, and occasionally lowers attack for 3 turns, which is a large AoE that has a good range overall. But personally, King She Slime still just not a great unit overall. Alright, for the A's, Dark Skeleton. Starts off battle with increase of attack power and movement for 3 turns. If defeating an enemy, will increase agility and movement, and large increase in agility overall. Dark Masher is a pretty large Zam physical damage. Single range gives 270% physical damage with that Zam. This is a pretty good increase. For A's, really, really buffs up Dark Skeleton. Will be useful. And with what we currently have right now for gold material, so that's anyone with A, B, and C, it's one of the better ones overall. I believe the Saber Cat's just a little bit better. Some point we will get the Boreal Serpent, but Dark Skeleton, you can probably use that. And honestly, for the gold material, this is where using it to the best ability is most important. Rainbow material's got the biggest strength overall, but there's a lot of units that can become really useful with the gold material. The one thing I do like about the Dark Skeleton is the Dark Masher does do a lot of damage, and if you can defeat the enemy, it really increases its speed, and it really does counter for this greatest weakness. The only reason I don't have it as a must-have is if it was defeat an enemy and increase attack. That would be much, much better. That's kind of why Percival's so good, and Dark Skeleton still doesn't reach that level. So it's still good. I still rank it in a very good range, especially with what we currently have available overall. But there's going to be better units coming soon as well. And as I say, the largest amount that you have is this. Bad Karmour is next. Gives you a very good tank in the B level. Steel gives you survivability when hit by recovering HP and increasing defense by 3 turns. Making a physical attack can rarely bind an enemy, and a large increase in agility. The main one here, let's talk about that first. Hook Thrust non-elemental, inflicts 190% physical damage and AoE, will draw units one square. Is a pretty good skill overall, especially to draw them to you and to try to manipulate enemy AI. The main effect here, though, that I don't like is, yes, the hit recovers HP and defense increase is really, really good for this type of unit. Instead of seeing agility up, I would have rather seen HP or defense up as a larger bonus there to make it more useful overall. Alright. And for Bad Karmour and for Man of War, I'm just going to say this right now. They're both pretty low in my gotta upgrade there. I will probably be upgrading my Dark Skeleton. But for Man of War, its talent can paralyze if hit with physical or martial skill, and then adds another 10% paralyzed success on top of it. That's what Paralyzer does. Honestly, it's a pretty interesting unit, but you don't really want this unit to be hit very much just because it just doesn't have that great of stats. It does give 80 more defense, which is really, really powerful for this type of unit and is very helpful. The additional skill, Lightning Surge, 64 MP, inflicts moderate martial damage to all enemy and rarely paralyzes. It's a very large skill. This is one of the first diamonds outside of S units to see. It is a nice skill, but once again, the way it's built, I'm not so sure it's really all that useful. And for the gold material, there's just many better units to use instead of that. So I do highly suggest to skip. As of right now, Cannibox. This is a very, very interesting unit. Personally, I really like what they did with Cannibox. Gives a pretty large increase to attack. And if you put an enemy to sleep, you get a large 3-turn buff in attack. And you get movement +1. But what I really, really like about this is Soothing Strike. It is a damage, then has a high probability to put an enemy to sleep. This is a wonderful and very dangerous skill for enemies to fight against. And I personally think for the silver materials, this is a unit that you can feel very good about buffing up and at least getting the skills and so forth. It is a D unit, it is not going to be the most powerful, but from a silver material, which is D, E, and F, is a very, very good unit to invest in. Just because that ability to sleep with damage on top of it is just really, really powerful. And with that skill, if you do put a buff in attack while they sleep, you can just see how you can really power up Cannibox by using Soothing Strike over and over again. Stump Chump. This is interesting. I kind of like the idea. The only problem that I have with Stump Chump is it's an E unit. But this is very Seraphy, very, very light style. The strong medicinal herb heals in response to enemies attacking friendly units. Like Seraphy, it's not as strong, obviously, but still, if you don't have Seraphy, you can always use Stump Chump, especially if you've got a tank that is taking all the damage. Then you can use Stump Chump instead to keep it healing up overall. Has the ability to occasionally stop units from using all physical and magical abilities against you. The Scaling Breath is a very, very interesting skill. I just don't think it's great, because really all you're going to want to use Stump Chump for is the free heals. Gives a small increase in HP and a little bit higher spell sealing ability. That HP strong medicinal herb is really what you're looking for here, and then you can kind of just skip out on the rest of it. Especially if you don't have Seraphy, you can kind of have stall plans with Stump Chump, but otherwise It is skippable, but it's at least an interesting unit, and you have some niche uses. And honestly, with silver material, that's all you're really going to come up with is with niche uses overall. Finally, we have Dracky, uh, which is actually another really interesting unit for silver material. And in all honesty, the first two talent blossoms have been really, really strong in this. For the silver materials, not so much for the gold, and for the platinum's been better. So, Dracky has the ability to do Kasiz, which inflicts major Sizz spell damage to all enemies. And with 200 increase in MP and 60 Wisdom, has the ability to actually cast it 2 times, and if you level it up enough, maybe 3, with enough power to actually do some damage. It increases skill on even turns until level 10, and with that, it actually can do some surprising damage, especially for an F unit. Um, in all honesty, it's like the slime. The slime is an all or nothing type with the one skill, but it can be used anywhere. Cannibox has that sleep ability that just allows it to become really, really strong. And Dracky has really just two massive, especially if they're weak against Sizz. The Dracky can actually do a lot of damage overall. So, in general, just to go real quick here, the Cannibox and the Dracky are must upgrades for the silver materials. They are very, very good. The only ones that I would say is good for the gold material is the Dark Skeleton. That is actually, yeah, overall I'd say that's the only one that's there that I would really say you need to. And for the rainbow material, Dragonlord True Form is a very good upgrade for it, especially if you use it an awful lot like I know a lot of people do. Then obviously you're going to want to do the rainbow material. But if you do have a Dragonlord and or Metal Dragon, I still think they are higher on the list of upgrading before the true Dragonlord True Form. And King She Slime is no. Unfortunately, they tried, but they just need a lot more increase to make it worthwhile. So, I do hope you guys like. Please comment down below. Also, it would be very helpful if you guys do like watching all these videos, for you guys to subscribe as well. You can turn on the notifications as well if you would like. That would help, as I do occasionally do giveaways and all that, which I will try and do in the next couple weeks. So I hope you guys enjoy. Good luck, and I will try to do a list on what you should be upgrading by the end of this week as well. So thank you everyone, and bye.